Hello. I'm going to teach you a magic trick now. Okay, so this isn't... I'm not giving away tricks here that are deep dark secrets of magic. This is a trick that I know a lot of people that aren't magicians do. If they've got a couple of tricks that they know, they do a version of this trick. And it's stuff you'll find in a lot of kids' magic books and stuff like that. You know, when you get the magic sets at home, they pick up the thing with a coin in it and they do the stuff they can do, but the minute they start reading instructions of how to do a trick, the kids just don't bother. So this is that, but with a couple of little subtleties that make it a little bit more convincing. So the idea is you spread the cards. It's very difficult for me to do this without a person here, so I do apologise, but just visualise. So I'm going to spread the cards to someone and they will pick one out. Now also, knowing that this is a video, I could have stuff set up here. I obviously haven't. I'm not going to sort of choose what card I take out or anything. And you'll see it doesn't matter what card it is. So I spread the cards and I say, can you choose a card? They choose a card and I say, okay. And can you show it to everybody else? Okay. So then I say, can you put it back in the deck? And they will put the card, obviously I won't do this, they'll put the card back in the deck, or they can hand it to you and you can put it back in, but just make sure everything's very fair. So what I'm going to do now is, I have no idea what card it is, but I'm going to go behind my back and take a card out, turn it around and put it back, and hopefully that'll be your card. But I'm going to do this very quickly so you know that maybe I couldn't sort of feel any breaks or anything. So the pack comes back out and I'll find your card. You see I've turned over one card in the pack. And that card is your card. So some of you might know how this is done, but I'll just go through some of the things that make it a little bit more convincing. The first one is, you basically start with a card face up on the bottom of the deck. Okay, so the cards face up on the bottom, you go through the deck like this. Now the important thing when you spread the deck, and because I've been working with cards for years, it's quite easy for me to do that. If you haven't, you'll find that you'll be kind of holding them quite tight. And this is, just make sure, it doesn't matter how you spread them, but make sure that you don't expose this card like this. So start going through really slowly, not really stupidly slowly because that's suspicious, but really slowly. If they get down to this point and they're being obnoxious, just go start again. Don't let that card get exposed. So you come down like this, they choose a card. This is very simple misdirection. They're going to take the card out and you say to them, show it to everybody and nobody forget the card. Now as they're doing that, all I'm going to do is turn the deck over like this. And when you first tried doing something like this, you tend to get quite nervous about being caught, but there's no suspicion here. They've got the card and they'll be focusing on the card, not the deck. Okay, because they're thinking, right, and you've told them, you say, look at the card, show it to everybody, and it's just a turn round of the deck like that. What that does is it puts you in this position, because don't forget at the beginning you had the card face up on the bottom of the deck. So you're in this position now, unbeknownst to them, and then you say, right, I want you to put it back in the deck. Notice I'm miming the action here of putting it back in the deck, because this is how I want them to do it. I don't want them to lift anything up, I just want them to put it in the deck. So if I mime this like this, so I just want you to put the card in the deck, they'll more likely do that. Now the only issue here is if you're holding the deck too hard and they push the card in, you might get this happen. So what you want to do, you mime the action, but as you bring the deck to them, you're going to put your thumb on the back like this and hold the deck very lightly. Okay, the minute you start gripping that thing, they're going to have a problem here. So hold it very lightly and get them to wiggle it. Or as they do this, you wiggle the deck like that. And again, with your thumb on the back, it will stop any of this kind of stuff going on. So you get them to put it back in the deck, they'll push it in. Very important that you then show this really cleanly. Okay, you say that, look, I'm going to go behind my back, I'm going to take one card out, turn it round and pop it back in. But I'm going to do this really quickly, and make sure you do it quickly but smoothly. So what I've done there, don't forget we were in this position. What I've done there is I've gone behind my back and all I've done is turned the top card over. Now at this point you could just come out like this, but that would be a slight discrepancy because don't forget the deck's gone behind your back with a card face down. So all I do is I turn it over and then the trick's done, but then if you turn it over like this behind your back, then it comes back exactly the same way as it went in. So I'll just demonstrate that. So You're in this position, they've pushed the card in. I say, right, I'm going to take the deck, take a card out, turn it over and put it back, and all I do is I go behind my back, turn over the top card, then turn the whole deck over and come back round. So if I was to spread through here, this would be the situation their card would be there, which is a good trick. Sometimes, very obviously, I'll turn the deck around, go through, and see that there's one card face down. Now this is a little bit nicer because what it does, it gives to them that little anticipation of, wow, they expect that to be their card, but it gives you a little kind of double kicker. So you go, that your card, and then you can really milk it a little bit more and show that it's their card that came out. So I'll go through that one last time. You start with the deck, normal deck, face up. If you borrow a deck of cards to do this, by the way, you can really easily do this because you haven't started a trick yet. Just ask someone a question, say, do you want to see a magic trick? As they do that, you can just turn that bottom card over. As long as you're not doing anything unnatural, you know, they won't even see that, that'll fly. So you've got the card face up on the bottom, you go through the deck quite slowly, make sure you don't, just take a bit of practice, even though it's a simple concept and it's easy to do, just make sure you practice it quite a few times so it's unconscious, so you're not having to think about what you're doing. They take a card out, you say, can you show it to everybody please? As they do that, you turn the deck over, square it up a little bit, you mime, can you put the card back any way you like, somewhere in the middle, you mime to give them the idea, to condition them to not lift anything up. If they do go to lift it up, just sort of say, no, just push it in, just be honest, hold the deck lightly, remember, thumb on the back, if you want to put your finger on the back, that's fine, but as long as it doesn't do any of this kind of stuff, but very lightly. And that will give them enough tension, not too much tension so that it pushes the card out. They put it in, you show it very cleanly, you go behind your back, turn the card face up if you want, and turn the deck face down, coming back exactly the same way. And then if you want to, you can just spread through like this, or you can say, look, there's now one card face down, which is their chosen card. Do practice it, alright, because even a lot of people when they learn it, they think, oh, it's easy, go out, and then they're thinking too much about the moves and the whole thing doesn't flow. So make sure you don't have to think about what your fingers and your hands are doing, so you can concentrate on what you're saying to the people. I hope you enjoyed that. It's a good trick. It's one of the tricks. When people say, can you teach me a trick, and I demonstrate it, they go, wow, and then when I say how it's done, they go, no, as if, you know, people aren't going to know how it's done. Thank you very much. Enjoy it. Feedback please. If you want me to come and perform at your event, stevefaulkner.com, or speak at your event, and all that, you know where I am. Thank you very much. Bye bye.